Hey everybody, welcome to more TJ AI stuff. In this edition, this isn't going to be any code or anything, but it could lead to some code stuff. But this edition this was from a conversation that I was recently having with some of the folks over at Grammarly. And we were having discussions around the design systems assistant and all the benefits and value that it can contribute to organizations, both from just kind of providing best practices for design systems perspective, but also how you can integrate it within applications to kind of enrich the data that you would normally get from just general knowledge AI. And then the conversation shifted from, well, could we enter in our own documentation in there to make the results be more specific to that organization's documentation, their specific needs? And I was like, well, that's a great idea. And it wasn't that far from an architecture standpoint to shift what we were doing with the design systems assistant to like a single tenant use, to be able to allow people to clone the repository and then ingest content from PDFs, websites, your current documentation website or anything, to be able to leverage that documentation in the same way that the design systems assistant is providing this information to applications, to Claude desktop, to your Cursor or Claude Code environments to help out with developing components. So anyway, I did that. We've been working with Workday. Workday has a documentation. They have a design system called Canvas Kit. And since I already had a lot of that stuff working, and since we've been working on it, it was just easy to use that as kind of the test subject for this. So without further ado, I'll give you a demo. This has the standard chat UI interface to access the MCP. Right now, it just says your organization documentation in here. So you could do things like just give me an overview of the code base. So this is still using the latest version of the updates that were done to Design Systems Assistant. So this is using Supabase as a vector database that it's pulling this information from. It's using this particular version is using GPT-5. And what's happening is that it's querying the vector database, Supabase, and it'll return all of the information specific to Workday's Canvas Kit design system. So I just said, what documentation is available? It's giving me a list of all the documentation type that is available, along with a source that you can connect to and understand where this is coming from, which is great. And so this is just one example of where this information is coming from. So super helpful. Another thing that you could do is go here. And since it's a remote MCP, you could say something like, tell me about best practices using the Company Docs MCP. I'm calling it Company Docs MCP, but when you create this, clone it, and import your own docs, there's environment file variables in there where you can call it Adobe Docs or Shopify Polaris Docs or anything that's specific to your design system. So company design. So let's see what it's grabbing here. It looks like it's giving me some information on the actual MCP itself, which is not exactly what we're looking for, but let me ask for something more specific. Using the Company Docs MCP, can you tell me a brief list of some components that are available? So what I'm looking for is to just tap into that knowledge base so that way you can return the information that it's getting from the documentation. There's several ways to ingest this content. The way that I pulled this in was you can go to, I pointed it to the URL for the Canvas Kit, the Canvas Design System documentation site. It crawled the site and then pulled it all in, and that's what's able to, that's the information that it's grabbing right now. So it looks like it's grabbing some button information, And then here it is, tapping into the Canvas design system, and it's giving me a brief outline of some of those components that are available within it. And then if I wanted to, I can dig a little bit deeper in it and just have a longer conversation with it. And then just to give you an example, here is the component library within the Canvas Kit repo. So I could say something like, how do I integrate icons into my component library using the Company Docs MCP? Oh, I said MTP, but usually whenever I use the dictation, it usually figures it out, but it did. So calling the knowledge base, if you open this up, it looks like it's grabbing some stuff from in there, found 15 results. It's working with, it sounds like it found a chunk where it says accent icons, something specific in there. Let's see what it returns. And this is a great opportunity because this is one where if you're working on the Workday Canvas Kit component library, you can filter all of your, like if there's large architecture changes that you're making, you could filter the majority of this through the documentation to ensure that whatever's being generated from the AI is abiding by the best practices and documentation that has been outlined already. So here it is giving me the code-specific responses from the MCP that has the documentation available in it. So this is amazing. System fonts, accent fonts, icons, installation process, and this is all coming from the Workday Canvas Kit documentation. And then another cool feature is that, like, if you wanted to just, maybe it's not maybe if you just wanted to you don't have an IDE, you don't have access to the chat UI, and you're just in Slack, you could say stuff like, tell me all about the button component. So now you have an opportunity to use Slack as a MCP client. So this will go out and it'll fetch information. It'll give you information on button labels, button guidelines, pull in that Workday Canvas design system, some information there. And then these are all links that bring you to the Canvas Kit button language icons. So the sources are there. So anyway, super powerful stuff. This could literally be used for anybody. This isn't just specific to Workday. I'm just using it because this is convenient for me. But you could plug this into your organization. You can use the ingestion node scripts that are in there to pull in all of your documentation. It's available in a remote MCP server, so you can connect it to any MCP client. You can use it to onboard. You can use it to enrich your code. You can use it to use for product documents, project management documents, whatever you want. So use it. It's free. I'll put the link in the post for this. Clone it, play with it, and give me a call. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks a lot.